Good afternoon, everybody. Attorney General Martha Coakley. I'm joined this afternoon by Deputy Attorney General Chris Berry-Smith. To his left is the Chief of our Public Protection and Advocacy Bureau, Maura Healy, who also argued this case before Judge Toro and before the First Circuit. To my left is Vicki Henry, who's a senior staff attorney from GLAAD. And we are delighted, of course, to be here today because today the United States Court of Appeals for the First Circuit ruled in a unanimous 3-1 decision that the Defense of Marriage Act, called DOMA, is unconstitutional. We believe that this is a great day for Massachusetts, for civil rights, and for all same-sex couples in Massachusetts who are married or who will be. Today's landmark ruling makes clear that DOMA is a discriminatory law for which there is no justification. It is unconstitutional for the federal government to create a system of first- and second-class marriages, and it does harm to Massachusetts and families in Massachusetts every day. In affirming Judge Toro's district court decision striking down the Defense of Marriage Act, the First Circuit emphasized that DOMA is a law that both discriminates against a historically disadvantaged group, and it also intrudes in an area where state regulation has traditionally governed. Both of those factors are important to understanding the court's decision today. The court pointed out that the Defense of Marriage Act, quote, intrudes extensively into a realm that has from the start of the nation been primarily confined to state regulation, unquote, and describes also, quote, the serious adverse consequences for states like Massachusetts that choose to legalize marriage for same-sex couples. The decision also emphasized, first, that DOMA is one of the shortest enactments in recent history, and that DOMA was passed after only 1 day of hearing, with no testimony concerning DOMA's effects on the numerous federal programs at issue, and without any findings that typically would accompany federal laws. They also rejected arguments that DOMA saves money. They pointed out in their decision that the latest analysis by the Congressional Budget Office indicates that DOMA, more likely than not, costs the government money. Also rejected arguments that DOMA, by denying benefits to same-sex couples, protects heterosexual marriage, and rejected arguments that DOMA is justified because it expresses moral disapproval of same-sex couples. Now, we brought this case together with GLAAD, with separate clients, obviously, the individuals who were affected by it, and in the state of Massachusetts that we believed required us to discriminate against individuals here in Massachusetts and couples. We brought them to challenge this law precisely because the impact on Massachusetts as well as same-sex couples in Massachusetts were, we thought, unconstitutional. We're pleased to see that now both Judge Toro and the First Circuit agree with us in that conclusion. We've seen the damage that this law has done over the past 8 years, that same-sex couples have been permitted to marry in Massachusetts. And I would note that since Massachusetts is the first state by a court ruling in 2004 to allow for same-sex marriage, we've been able to see here in Massachusetts both the incredible advantages and the success of same-sex marriage here, as well as see what those disadvantages have been by the the federal government's Defense of Marriage Act that serves, we believe, no purpose, particularly as it relates to Massachusetts. So 2 examples only of the impact on individuals here in Massachusetts. We're aware of veterans who would not be able to be married in a veterans cemetery with their loved one, their married partner. They are married under Massachusetts law, but for purposes of federal law, they would not be considered married and would not be allowed to be buried together. We've also seen couples who were denied access to Social Security, Medicare, and other survivor benefits. An unfairness for same-sex couples under federal law that was not applicable to them under Massachusetts law. Excuse me. This is a matter of fairness, equality, and respect for the dignity of human beings, and the recognition that Massachusetts has already given those relationships in our state. And we are grateful today that the First Circuit recognize the unfairness and the inequality that DOMA has meant for the Commonwealth. The First Circuit's judgment affirms Judge Toro's strong judgment that all Massachusetts couples should be afforded the same rights and protections under the law, and we hope that this case will end here soon so that the court's judgment can take effect and Massachusetts residents can finally enjoy the equality to which they are constitutionally entitled. Thank you.